We are testing. Everybody welcome, but it's not for real. I mean, welcome, yes, but we're being tested.
So we're testing the sound. If you can hear us, let us know.
I wait eagerly.
We're not seeing anything. If you can hear us, let us know. Eileen is saying we hear you.
Thank you,
Hedy
Eileen.
says perfect. So we are ready to start in half a minute.
The storm is raging outside, so we're
Deirdre
inside.
Rover is watching. Kenny says it's working great.
I'm so happy. Joni just waved. I can begin. Welcome, everybody. And I hope you're snug and safe, because outside the winds are howling. And I thought all day, what if a tree crashes somewhere on a wire and we have no electricity tonight? But that is something we have to deal with, because we're heading into winter. And if you have any ideas, any brainstorms, I accept them gladly, okay? Because in this world of great machinery and technology, are we really still worrying about wind? Anyway, welcome all of you. Whereas there used to be 5 of us, and we ate a lot during the program, today there's just Joni and me. Actually, with me there were 6.
Yes.
Yeah.
You count 2.
I count 2, yes. Okay. I have my glasses because we always had Kenny writing on the whiteboard, and then I could just look and read and in big letters, and I didn't need my glasses. But since Kenny can't come today because of the storm, but he's watching, and thank you, Kenny. I'm taking my glasses because part of the things I am going to have to read, okay? First of all, as usual, I begin with this. This is going to be part of what I'll talk about later. Not the painting, but what I'm trying to do with it, okay? I always begin with somebody with a disability who does amazing work. But few people have affected us as much as Siddiqui. The Russo family, who started that wonderful organization, Teresa,
Foundation.
Teresa, how do I explain what they do? It's a Teresa Foundation, but they teach dance, they teach everything. And their whole family is special because they brought little Teresa up. And the Russo family has meetings where they raise funds. And once they showed, we went to all of them. Now I can't. But what happened was, there was a man named Siddiqui. Siddiqui had no legs that worked. He grew up they sent him to his family, I think his uncles or grandparents or somebody, who lived in the jungle because he could not cope in the regular world. His legs did not work. And he created himself. And I'd like to read what he said. I approach dance with discipline to feel myself, to keep my mind calm, my heart clean, and my focus straight. With these principles in mind, obstacles can be overcome. Mountains climbed, discomfort endured. People see as a handicap when one loses his eyesight or legs, but true handicaps only come from the mind, the limits we place on ourselves. Eric, at that time, when we watched him, we spoke to the Russos and we said, we've got to meet him. And we went into Manhattan and we climbed up, I believe it was 4 flights. Now this man, this was a lot of years ago, so I don't remember if it was 4 flights or not, but I think so, because it was in a sort of tenement building. And he climbed with no legs. He used his arms, and he swung his behind. He danced. He lifted weights. He changed the way we see the world. Joni, could you show the other page also of how he danced?
I'm blocking you out, but they can see.
That's okay. Let me repeat that one sentence again. True handicaps only come from the mind, the limits we place on ourselves. So, anyway, we climbed up those steps, and he opened the door for us. He has a wonderful wife who's an artist. She saw him dancing in the subways to collect money. How did he earn a living? He danced in the subways. Without legs on his arms. And he showed us, we went into his house and we met his wonderful wife and we spoke to him. He showed us how he cooks. It's a miracle. Maybe we are a miracle if we use what we are. And that brings me into what I want to speak about.
But Jesse just said, didn't he live in an apartment that was on the 7th floor and he'd take the stairs?
No. If so, Jesse might be right. Jesse, your brain is younger than mine. Otherwise, it would. But this was many years ago. So I'm giving to you. Jesse said it was 7 flights up, and he always took the stairs. That's also how he traveled in the subway. He did it on his hands. In other words, there is nothing, if you want to do it, that you can do. Let me go into this.
Jesse said, I'm always right.
Unfortunately, he is. And I tell him when he's not. Okay, first of all, I voted. And I'm going to have to read part of this because I don't have Kenny writing on that board for me. My daughter checked the long lines in Freeport and came back with a positive report. Mom, these lines are several blocks long, but you have a walker. And if you get tired from sitting, I can push you. Let's do it. And we went into Freeport, and the lines were very long, and it didn't matter at all. First of all, I didn't have to use the walker. I used it to hold on to, but I didn't have to sit down because the atmosphere was so special. First of all, Freeport is integrated. People of all colors live in harmony together. When I walk in Freeport with my walker, people make way for me. They wave at me. They keep 6 foot apart. And they all wear masks. And if some didn't wear masks, when they saw me wearing mine, they pulled theirs on it. Anyway, So she said, shall we go today? I think early evening might be best. I was delighted to do so. I prepared snacks in a thermos, put on winter layered clothes, and off we went in her car. Now, I diced little pieces of chicken because I figured we'd be there for so long. I had to take it home. We had no time to eat. We were so busy looking at people. Let me explain. The parking lot was quite full when we arrived, but she has young legs. I had a walker. The air was dry and wonderful, and everyone wore masks. There were family groups, young, old, thin, fat, short, tall, and in-between sized people, and every race and color under the sun. We were in our own United Nations. I felt such peace and pride in who we are within these lines, waiting to wait for a future government. No police, no armed militia, only people who left home in order to vote, standing 6 foot apart because of the pandemic. We have all become aware of the anger in our country. I know that the anger is there because I read the newspapers and I listen to TV. But the people I know don't speak of armed militia and burning buildings. They speak of global warming, bad air and bad water, all of which we could prevent because we are the cause of it. When we were peacefully in the rec center, which was prepared for voting, there were so many volunteers to give us advice. This was no longer the kind of voting of the past, and we were shown the new machines, given the new materials. No push, no shoving. Because of the masks, we could not see smiling lips, but the eyes were smiling. When we left, we felt so peaceful. And as my daughter said, we have seen the real America tonight. Which brings me to an important point. We are the danger. And I want to explain how easy it is for me to be upset at the side which is the opposite of where I voted. It is hard for me not to be angry. But if I don't see them as part of my country, then I am a party to the dysfunction. Because the dysfunction exists so powerfully. And I know it from watching TV. The parades, the anger. It's easy to belong to that. I'm going to beg you not to. When you feel hate coming in you, shut it off. Then you become the cause. Okay? And now I want to thank somebody who really made me think so hard. And I wrote about it last week. From Deirdre and Mike. I'm showing off because they're my family. That they had thoughts about some ideas for ways to improve our current situation. And I already dealt with the first. Give back, donate clothes, food, etc. Volunteer in any way. Teach, read to children in need. I read it to you last year, last Monday. But what I did in these last few days, I went through every closet. I did not yet finish. But why do I need a coat when I have 2 others? Why do I need more blankets than I have? People can't come to me to sleep, but I can send the blankets to them. And I've always sent to the Vietnam veterans. Why? Because when I call them during the week. They always show up on Friday. But now I want to give directly to people. And I didn't know how. And then I saw a message in the newspaper, in Newsday, about a kid who wanted to give. And you know what he did? He called the homeless shelters. And I'm going to send it to the homeless shelters. I'll still send to the Vietnam veterans. But do it. Change the world. It's in our power. Okay? Now, I spoke about the voting, and I spoke about the learning to give. And now I'm going to do something. First of all, here I have a clock, so I can see what the timing is. I would now like to speak about the painting that I mentioned last, which is Francis Tavern. And I was very efficient because I don't have Kenny here, and because I know he worries if I'm using the time correctly, and I don't have his timesheet. So I checked out the story I wrote on Francis Tavern. I would like to mention something else. We're approaching winter. I would like to speak every Monday. There may be times when the snow is so deep that Joni can't come to me. Right? If any of you can think of ways in which I can do this by myself and do it correctly, those of you who are technically wise, if you can think of a way in which I can do things myself, because I'm technically very weak, kindergarten level. Okay? So, Joni will show Francis Tavern. Okay, that was my first venture out of the Lower East Side. When somebody would commission me for a painting, I would give them thoughts of the places I wanted to do, but I wanted to make sure it was a place I would love to paint. And in the Lower East Side, I could paint forever, because every corner was interesting. But then I figured people might get tired of the Lower East Side, as I do not. I still hope that someday my legs will work better and the virus is gone and I can go back to the Lower East Side. But I decided it's time to take a different area. And so one of the areas I showed to the people who gave me a commission was Francis Tavern, because it is wonderful. It took me into the area which I then made my second home, which was the Wall Street area. I fell in love with it. But Francis Tavern, it was run by the Nordens, and they became very good friends while I was painting for the family for whom I was painting. At first, I didn't know how to handle it, because it was a serious area. I knew when I was invited into one of the areas of the stock exchange by a young woman, and I couldn't believe the turmoil and the hard work that they do, because Francis Tavern made the area look so peaceful. So here is what I wrote. Not until, it took a long time to decide how to do the Francis Tavern area. I was finishing a canvas of the Lower East Side streets, and at the end of my work day I would drive to Pearl and Broad Street and look at various angles. There was so much to see and so much I wanted to include. The clouds over the skyscrapers were magnificent, but if I were to include that height, the tavern would be too small. If I were to show one side of the street, I would have to sacrifice something as equally special on the other side. Each choice demanded that something be given up. And when I met Estelle Weber, the woman in the red blouse, she showed me the inside of a stockbroker's office. Then I realized the incredible tensions under which the financial district works. That's when things began to fall into place. Most of the people I saw on the street were working in buildings similar to Estelle, and yet up and around the tavern stand stood still. So I had to show the hustle and bustle next to that beautiful old building, and that I did. That is the painting. Let me tell you, first of all, maybe you could hold it up some more. I am going to show you the menu so you'll know what inflation is, because I did this painting about 40 years ago. 40 years ago. Okay. Jeremy Shelburne is the director of the museum. He's shown walking towards the front in the center of the canvas. In back of him, toward the left, is Paul Roman, the chef at the tavern. He was trained at the you can see the chef's hat. Paul is one of the finest American chefs in New York City and one of the youngest. And then Fitos Vasilou came from Cyprus a little over 2 years ago. I placed him in his wagon in front. Actually, his wagon never stood there. It was always across the street, but I needed that canvas. I needed that on this canvas, so I moved him. Richard Schenk is the young man buying a hot dog, and Tim Langdon, young man with a mustache, is in back of him. Then there's Celia Gavelman. She's the lady next to him on the right. She was born in Manila. And all these people became such close friends. Farther to the right is Thomas pushing a Bear Stearns wagon, is Thomas Rist, and next to him is Miguel Rivera. Then Albert Thomas, the building superintendent, and Ronald Hall, his assistant, are placed exactly where I first met them. They're at the left of the entrance, Albert in green, Ronald in white overalls. Now I have to talk about the pizza place, Ciro's Pizza. Is it on the painting? If it's not there, then
I'm not sure.
Let me take a look at it. Oh, yeah. It was the red awning.
Got it.
You see, if I didn't make friends with the neighborhood, I wouldn't have enjoyed it. They were wonderful. Ciro's helped me with everything. He was in an empty, rundown building when Arturo Cristo first opened it. He believes that it was once a furniture store. As it was, the store turned out to be one of the key elements in planning this composition. Its red awning, see the red awning? And white walls gave light to the edge of the street. Artie, the owner, is shown standing in front of it, and Billy Thurgood, one of his employees, is sitting on the steps. Everybody there is a human being. I have their names. I have everything. If there wouldn't have been the storm, Kenny would have put this on the Facebook page. Because of the storm, we don't have Kenny. Maybe next week there'll be no storm. Now, I would like to talk about something else. Shirley Baker was one of the people who called in last week. And she's in one of my paintings. Wait. First, most important. Joni's going to show you from Francis Tavern the menu at that time. And I'm going to read out to you so that you will believe that if we go back in time, because I ate so well there. I did 2 paintings of Francis Tavern. One I did for the Nordens, the owners. That's the second painting I did. That's number 51.
Shirley Baker says, hi, Hedy. She's watching.
Oh, I'm so glad. Shirley, I'm going to show you. Okay, the desserts. Triple chocolate mousse pie, $2.25. An exceptional New York cheesecake, $2.25. Now, guys, think a minute. This is one of the most expensive restaurants and one of the best. I loved eating there. When I did the painting for the Nordens, they insisted that I eat. When I did the painting for the other people, the first painting, I didn't. Okay, now, Shirley, here we go. Joni, this painting has Shirley Baker. It has, I'm going to read the story. Joni, take this, show the picture. Okay? People in the painting. Larry Hecht standing in door of shoe shop under awning. By the way, I did this in 1976. So Shirley Baker, young girl, blonde, next person on Linda's left.
Give a little
Linda,
more so that I know, point where it is.
Oh, right down here.
Okay.
Okay? Let's start with Marion Baker, woman with yellow slacks, white top. Can you see her? Okay. Linda Baker, little girl on her left. Shirley Baker, young girl, blonde, next person on Linda's left. Ah, we did it.
So Kenny says it's not because of the storm, it's because they didn't feel safe coming. And the reason they didn't feel safe coming was because they were going door to door in Pennsylvania, trying to be good at getting the voters out. So they are heroes.
Yes, they are. Shirley, you know, such gifts. You know what, darling? Do me a favor. I have no address for you. Send me your address, and I'll send the picture to you, okay? A copy of the picture. But you've got to share it with Marion and
Shirley
Linda.
Says I'm in another one also, the whole family, including the dog. And she says, I love you.
You know, isn't that the one of the Plaza Hotel area? Can she hear me?
Shirley, is it the one of the Plaza Hotel where you and the family and the dog are?
Which has FAO Schwartz in it? It has 140 people in it.
And they're real people.
All real people.
Paula Lakshan said, I love this painting, and Hedy, of course. And Shirley says, I think so.
Oh, and guys, you know what I'm thinking of? Maybe I should include a painting. I have only 1 minute left. Maybe I should include one of the paintings like this with the story in every Monday. Okay. Goodbye. I love you all.
Oh, she said it's the one that has Eric in the van also. It might be Times Square. So from now on, you're going to have a painting in every talk.
Yes. Goodbye. I love you all. Forgive me, but I will never answer on Facebook because I don't want the whole world to hear. So those of you who have my number, my email, please use it.
Tammy says we love you. Shirley says your smile is infectious.
Let me take my glasses off.
Jessie says it's Times Square. Eileen says love you, Hedy. And Joe Tripp says hi everyone. Lots of love.
You know, let's continue loving. The moment we begin to hate the people who we really wish would change.
Benji Chan Khan says we love you.
I love you too. Thank you all. I'm so happy that we have this Monday night, even if the storm came. Thank you.
And your son says love you.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.